We wanted to give you guys a short overview of how we approach our breath technique in the lab and in both of our training studios. Some of the basics are that we need two parts to be working properly in order to have a proper breath technique. So the first one is the diaphragm, which is sitting at the bottom of the rib cage right here. And the other one is inside the pelvis at the pelvic floor. And if either one of those is too tight, we're gonna see different postural changes, but we're also gonna see it in what happens to their breath. One of the things you might see in clients when they first walk in is a lifted, extended posture where their entire rib cage is shifted forward and up, causing compression on this backside. In this position, the diaphragm cannot ascend and descend the way it should, which means the pelvic floor also cannot. The only place she has to breathe right now is up here. So if Jacqueline's to take a breath right now and inhale, you see how much neck activity and upper scalene activity is starting to happen because of this extended position. If I take her out of it and have her just relax into a stack, so shoulders, rib cage, all sitting over the pelvis, now when she takes an inhale, we can get the diaphragm to actually drop down and we see the expansion of the entire rib cage. If I'm looking for that on a client who's never learned that before, one of the first things I'm gonna do is place my hands around their shoulder blades. And I'm just seeing if I can feel it. As they inhale, can I feel increased pressure in my hands? Can I see my hands moving? And if none of that is happening, chances are they don't know that their back is supposed to expand when they breathe. The other thing that you have to make sure is that the pelvis is sitting somewhat neutral. So if someone is sitting forward in an anterior tilt, it's the same idea as the rib cage being swung forward. We cannot now have proper diaphragmatic descension because this is pushed forward and there's nowhere for it to go. So if we allow the pelvis to just relax back into somewhere that feels more neutral and comfortable for them, now we have a diaphragm and a pelvic floor that can move up and down as we inhale and exhale the way we want it to. As teachers, this can start to make more sense to us, but clients can't necessarily feel it. You need to experiment with different breathwork positions to get them to feel the expansions before you start moving on the apparatus, the equipment. Okay, so one of the easiest ways to do that is to just sit them on the edge of a chair or the edge of the reformer, allow everything to relax, and have them just drape. And what this does is because it's biasing us into this flexed spine position, when we take an inhale, our diaphragm and lungs have nowhere else to take air in but back here, the extended side. So as she inhales now, you can see how this side is starting to then move out this way towards my hands. And as she exhales, you'll see all of it just start to settle and sink down. Ideally, the client also starts to feel this. They might describe it as like a gentle stretch, feels like they're getting a deep breath. Any of those words are gonna tell you that they're actually finding something closer to a diaphragmatic breath. Now, the reason this is so important is because if this stack is not taking place, then proper diaphragmatic breath is not actually happening. And the other thing that it can do is it can have really marked changes on our posture patterns. And if we don't address the root of it, we can try to correct that posture all we want, but it's not actually gonna stick. So in our methodology, the plan is to always start people with the basics of breath work, but also to always go back to breath work if we're having a problem and we don't know where to start. We hope that helps you guys with somewhere to start and teaching breath work to some of your clients.